I'm Tim Calderwood with you here on Blue Jay TV. It's game 2 of a doubleheader between Elmhurst and Wheaton. Up next, we have for you the men's contest. A stiff test in front of Elmhurst this evening. The Blue Jays open conference play with a victory over North Park University on Wednesday. Tonight, they face the Thunder of Wheaton College. Wheaton is ranked 23rd in the D3Hoops.com Top 25 poll. However, the Thunder are coming off of a road loss on Wednesday in overtime at Illinois Wesleyan. Contests between the Blue Jays and the Thunder have always been close, particularly here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. Could be an interesting one here tonight as well, as Elmhurst looks to move to 2-0, and Wheaton, who's been on the road in both contests this week, looks to avoid an 0-2 start in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. So glad you're alongside with us from Elmhurst College tonight in Elmhurst, Illinois. Starting lineups are being introduced here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. For 23rd ranked Wheaton, a 6'4" sophomore guard out of Medina, Ohio, Tyler Peters. A 6' senior guard from Tremont, Illinois, Jeremy Flederer. Peters at 8.5 points, Flederer at 8.4 points per ball game. A 6'4" senior guard out of Bloomington, Illinois, Aaron Garriott. He averages 15.6 points per night. The forwards, Tim McCrary, 6'6" senior out of Wilmette, Illinois, 17.8 points per ball game, and Spencer Schultze, 8.8 points per game and 6.3 rebounds per contest. There's a lot of balance on this Wheaton roster. The Thunder are 9-3 entering play tonight. Elmhurst is 7-5. The Blue Jays are racing through the huddle as I read off the starting lineups. Deontay Foster, a 5'11 junior out of Muskegon, Michigan, averaging 6.6 points per game. James Robertson, 6'3 junior out of Peoria, averaging 10.3 points per ball game. Zach Boyd, a 6'3 senior out of Warrensburg, Illinois. He's the leading scorer for Elmhurst at 14.9 points per night. The forwards, Jerome Robinson, 6'6 senior out of Skokie at 13.1 per game. And Nick Sanford, a 6'4 sophomore out of Decatur, who averages 8.9 points a night. So that is the starters for the matchup. Again for Wheaton, Peters, Flederer, Garriott, McCrary, and Schultze. For Elmhurst, Foster, Robertson, Robinson, Boyd, and Sanford as Elmhurst prepares to meet Wheaton College here at R.A. Fagnall Hall in Game 2 of the CCIW schedule. Looking ahead, these teams will meet again on February 4th at Wheaton as part of a doubleheader at 8 o'clock. The teams are exchanging pleasantries at midcourt, and we're ready for action. Elmhurst led by head coach Mark Shearer. Mike Schauer is the head man for Wheaton. In the center circle, it's Jerome Robinson opposite Spencer Schultze, and we are underway as Nick Sanford leaps in and controls the opening tip for Elmhurst. I'm Tim Calderwood with you. Elmhurst in the home whites. Boyd in front of the Wheaton bench, up high towards Robinson. They'll put it on the deck once and spot Foster. Elmhurst taking their time here on the first offensive venture. Boyd curls around towards the corner. Here's Robertson popping out, three-pointer in and out. Sanford, though, chases down the rebound. And Elmhurst will have a second opportunity here on the first visit. Just underway tonight, scoreless. Boyd between the rings, directing traffic, looking for Sanford, lobbing underneath for Robinson, out of reach. Jerome Robinson trying to say he was held up a bit by Aaron Garriott. But no whistle, and Wheaton takes over after the turnover. First possession for the Thunder, who are in the bright orange unis. McCrary twisting towards the corner. Garriott driving baseline denied. Back out it comes. Here's Schultze in the lane. Towards Garriott again. Garriott overshoots Schultze. And a minute into the contest, we have seen a turnover each way. Deontay Foster handling the point for the Blue Jays in the matchup here tonight. And Elmhurst is on the board. Zach Boyd will toss it off the window and good. Boyd averaging 14.9 points per game, 6th in the CCIW. Nice backdoor cut for McCrary right between two Elmhurst defenders. He'll even up the score at 2 apiece. Tim McCrary, a senior out of New Trier High School. This is a senior-dominated team. 4 of the starting 5 are seniors for Mike Schauer. Robertson off a screen, opts to drive in the lane. It's denied. Schultze will swat it away. Flederer outlets towards Garriott. And the Thunder will run it up towards the spotting Peters. His three is off the back iron, and it's Nick Sanford controlling on the glass. Sanford fifth in the CCIW in rebounds this year. Foster towards the elbow. Will set a screen for Boyd. 17:50 to play first half. 2-2 the score. Sanford free throw line extended. Jump stop towards the basket. No. Jerome Robinson is there, and Robinson travels. A lot of defense here early on between these two teams, both of which are in the top half of the CCIW in points allowed per ball game. Very even matchup on paper. Wheaton swept Elmhurst last year, stomping on the Blue Jays in Wheaton, 78-49. But the matchup here at R.A. Faginal Hall decided by a single point, 68-67. And again, the Thunder are coming off of a loss to Illinois Wesleyan. Highly touted program in the CCIW this year. Schultze starts to move with 10 on the shot. Backing his way in against Robinson. 8 to work with. On the move, it's Peters dumping for Schultz in the lane, and he works the layup through. Spencer Schultze with the layup, and Wheaton leads for the first time today at 4-2. Good job for McCrary to deny Robinson, who had to come all the way out past the three-point arc to handle the feed. Foster will reset, 15 to work with. Here's a bouncer towards Robinson, just outside the paint. His six-footer won't go, and a foul on the rebound. Charge the foul to Zach Boyd. That is his first. It's the first on the Blue Jays as well. Officiating crew for the matchup here tonight: Jim O'Boy, Fritz Larson, and Mike O'Neill. Tim McCrary taking his sweet time before spotting Flederer. He'll dribble once and bounce it for McCrary, who has range and hits. McCrary can shoot as well. That's what makes him such a dangerous threat for the Thunder. He's one of the best post presences in the conference, in addition to being able to step out and hit that 15, 16, 17-foot jumper as well. Sanford skipping in the lane. Robinson off the window and in. Jerome Robinson with a basket. 6-4 the score. And stepping out of bounds for the turnover. A lot of times down on defense, you can use the baseline as an extra defender. The player doesn't necessarily know how much real estate they have to try to gain that extra step. In the case of Garrett, he stepped out of bounds. 15.5 to play in the first. Wheaton on top 6-4. Still the starters for each side. Sanford will deke the screen for Foster. Here's Robertson off the screen. Pull back three, no. Sanford's second chance isn't there, but it's Boyd on the weak side to tip it home. Third opportunity converts for the Blue Jays. Rebounds were so huge in the victory over North Park in the second half on Wednesday. Here's Flederer triggering the three, in and out, and Boyd cleans up. If Elmhurst can contain the glass tonight, they will find themselves at the very least in the matchup late here this evening. One dribble for Robinson. Sanford posting. It's McCrary on him. Back to Foster. Spot up three. Bingo! Deontay Foster with a three-pointer. His first bucket of the ball game. And just like that, Elmhurst is in front. The Blue Jays on a 7-2 run presently with 14.5 to play in the first. And Robertson with the steal. Robertson has numbers. It's a 3-on-1. Spin move. Layup, no. Rebound loose, and it's out of bounds off of Robinson. And with 14:24 to play in the half, we have our first substitutions wholesale on each side. For Wheaton, entering is Nathan Haynes, Nate Serenius, and John DeMoss. Elmhurst, Brandon Grubel's first appearance. Justin Phipps, the football player, is in for the Blue Jays as well with 14:15 to play in the first. Here's McCrary on the drive, in and out, fighting for the rebound and a foul against the Thunder. Did I mention he can shoot, he can drive, and he can post? Tim McCrary, widely thought of to potentially earn the CCIW's most valuable player. Deontay Foster. Head up, locates Boyd off a screen for three! Elmhurst is doubling up the Thunder at 12-6, and we've got a timeout for Wheaton. It is a 30-second timeout in the first half with 13:50 to play. Elmhurst is starting to heat up. Wheaton is struggling with turnovers right now. The Thunder have turned the ball over on 3 occasions. I'm Tim Calderwood with you from R.A. Faginal Hall tonight. CCIW men's basketball action. Wheaton is shooting over 60% from the floor, but the Thunder, number 1, they've struggled on the glass. Number 2, they've got to cut down on those turnovers here early. Otherwise, Elmhurst has the potential to pull a surprise here at home. The goal for Elmhurst is to return to the CCIW tournament, a place they have not been in 2 years, and a victory over a program like Wheaton would definitely bolster their case early in this 2012 CCIW schedule. Quick 30-second timeout for Mike Schauer, trying to settle down his nationally ranked Thunder squad on the road. Second consecutive road matchup. They played in front of a packed house at the Shirk Center on Wednesday. McCrary draws a crowd, and he's able to unload to the open Haynes. And Haynes stops the spell after Elmhurst had gone on a 10-2 run. 12-8 the count. Phipps has it underneath. In the lane, waits over the top of Haynes. No, but Boyd with another rebound for the Blue Jays. Elmhurst with an 8-3 edge on the glass early here in the first. 13:08 to play. Fresh 35 for the Blue Jays. Out comes Phipps. Looking to lob in the lane. Robinson over the top of McCrary, wouldn't go. Wheaton collapsed. A very nice job defensively of surrounding McCrary. And we've got a tip. It'll stay with the Thunder. Shot clock somehow reset in there. It's at 34. The officials will congregate to discuss. Jim O'Boy and Fritz Larson talking things over. We've come to a consensus as Jim O'Boy heads over towards the scorer's table. Should be about 9 seconds gone on the shot clock according to the live stats. And indeed it is 9 seconds. They'll put it at 26 for Wheaton. As Tyler Peters will inbound to the right corner for an open three-pointer. Serenius, no. Grubel, long board. Grubel, coast to coast. Oh, what a foul. Grubel turned on the Jets and almost took it coast to coast for the layup. Instead, the Thunder will make him earn it the hard way. First free throws of the evening upcoming for either side. Another note for this contest. The top 2 free throw shooting teams in the conference. Wheaton at 7:47, Elmhurst 7:42. Grubel to the stripe, connects. Brandon Grubel, a 78% shooter on the year, 14 of 18. Elmhurst was huge from the free throw line in the victory over North Park on Wednesday. They're going to need those free throws here tonight to pull an upset at home. One more upcoming for the freshman out of Valparaiso, Indiana. Just like the first. And it is 14-8 in favor of the Blue Jays with 12:40 to play in the opening 20. Nate Serenius locates Garrett, stumbles momentarily. Serenius will come out to direct traffic again. They'll go cross court. Garrett open on the edge. Three-pointer, no. Underneath is Robertson. It's another one and done. Can't say enough about the job for the Blue Jays on the glass so far. Here's Foster. Shy of the elbow. Hits from 17. And again, Elmhurst is doubling up Wheaton here in the first half, 16-8. Pretty good crowd on hand. Elmhurst is still on break. Deflection. Thunder will retain, and 3 more bodies re-entering for Wheaton. Jeremy Flederer, Spencer Schulte back in. Tad Fisher on the floor for the first time. Eric Dornfeld will appear for Elmhurst. Nick Sanford returns as well. 12 minutes to play in the first. Here is Fisher. Slinging for McCrary, isolated on the right edge. Looks for the cutter. Schulte will make his way to the line. Wheaton on the road this year, 3-2. Compare that to a perfect 4-0 at home. Spencer Schulte will shoot free throws. He is the second worst free throw shooter on the Thunder amongst active players. Jeremy Flederer is actually less than a 50% shooter. Schulte is just under 60% at 59. He's 34 of 57 on the year, as the first one is good. Spencer Schulte out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's one of the things about the Thunder. They'll draw from all over. Looking down the roster, Ohio, Illinois, Pennsylvania, California, Arizona, Georgia, New Jersey, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin. On the flip side for Elmhurst, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, that's it. Here's Dornfeld, surrounded in the block. Up high to Robertson. For 3, it's partially blocked by Flederer. Sanford able to keep the rebound alive. Shot clock is at 10 for the Blue Jays, who have to hurry. Foster, stutter step, in the lane, tied up and taken away. Here come the Thunder, 2-on-2. Serenius will try to float it home from 6, no good. Dornfeld with a board. A frenetic pace here in the first half. 16-10, Elmhurst the lead. Foster down the lane, offensive foul. McCrary slid in and held his ground. And that's the second foul on Deontay Foster. One of the top guards in terms of assists in the CCIW, maybe seating very shortly here. He'll stay in the game momentarily. 3 fouls against Elmhurst, 2 of which have been called against the junior. Flederer, ball in his left hand, lofting for Schulte. 1-on-1 against Dornfeld, backing his way in, over the top, scores. (16-12). And a timeout for Elmhurst. It is a 30-second timeout here at R.A. Fagenal Hall. We're in the first half. Elmhurst in front by the score of 16-12. Tim Calderwood with you here on Blue Jay TV. It's been an exciting one so far. Elmhurst continuing to control the glass. Wheaton with only 4 rebounds in the game so far. The Thunder have really struggled to create second opportunities on the offensive end when they have not been able to hit a shot. Elmhurst, meanwhile, routinely on the offensive side, has been able to create second and third chances. Doesn't always mean that they've scored, but the chances and opportunities have been there for the Blue Jays, who find themselves up by 4 nearing the midway point of this first half. First time out for Elmhurst after a little bit of a change in momentum. The Blue Jays embarked on a 10-2 run to take control. They remain in front by 4 with just over 10 minutes to play in the half. It's Grubel now running the point after Foster exits, and Robertson stepped out of bounds. The official was right on top of the play, but it was Jimbo Boy who actually made the call. Robertson did his best to work his way and establish himself back inbounds, but could not. And the ball will hand it back to the Thunder. For Elmhurst, turnover number 5. And a whistle underneath, the hold called. Schulte held up. It's on Dornfeld, his first. Team foul number 4. And a 5-second call. (10:25) first half. A turnover begets another. Grubel, Sanford, Dornfeld, Robertson, Boyd, the 5 for Elmhurst. Here is Robertson passing on the 3. He'll put it on the deck, unload to Boyd. Corner right from 16, no. Rebound controlled by Peter Smith, who has come off of the bench for the Thunder. Spotting up is Tad Fisher. His 3-pointer is long, but Fisher comes up with the first offensive rebound. And a foul as he tried to drive. Charge it to Boyd, and that'll be his second. Zach Boyd with 7 points for the Blue Jays. He picks up his second foul. Boyd and Deontay Foster each have 2, and actually scratch that. They'll change it to Sanford. Too much on the Garriott attempt, but a third opportunity now for the Thunder, and there's an offensive foul. Tyler Peters looks on in disbelief. Peters, the lone underclassman in the starting lineup for Wheaton. He's a sophomore. This Thunder team is very much built for the 2011-2012 season. Peters at 8.4 points per ball game is the top scorer among underclassmen. Robinson with a long 2. Couldn't bank home. Sanford fighting for the rebound. And it's Garriott who rips it away to Schultze. Gunning for the steal is Robinson. He missed, and it led to a wide open layup. 2-point game, 16-14 Elmhurst. And Grubel will take his time. Out is Robinson. 9:10 to play in the half. Here comes Boyd. He'll try the 3 off a screen. Kaboom! Zach Boyd in double digits with 10 leading Elmhurst. He has more than half of the points on the board presently for the Blue Jays. No good as Garriott tried the running 3-footer. And Sanford makes it one and done. Grubel waits. Sanford strong to the rack, pivots. Back out to Grubel for 3. Nope. And Flederer with the board, boxing out on Robertson. Away come the Thunder, and it's Peters with a finger roll. 19-16 with 8:28 to play in the first. If you're wondering, other games around the CCIW tonight. Milliken at Carthage, Illinois Wesleyan at North Park. Both of those games are actually gone final. North Central is at Augustana. That's the only other matchup tonight. Zach Boyd will pull up, and he hits again. A dozen for Boyd. Illinois Wesleyan improving to 2-0 with a win at North Park. Carthage evening its mark at 1-1 with a victory over Milliken today at home. 3-pointer, no good from Peter Smith. Sanford in a long outlet, changes course and converts. Timeout Wheaton. Full timeout. 7:43 to play first half. 7-point Elmhurst lead, 23-16. We step aside. This is Blue Jay TV. Each team shooting 41% here in the first half, but Elmhurst 3 of 7 from 3-point range. Wheaton 0 of 5. Elmhurst with a 14-9 edge on the glass. Wheaton has closed a little bit as Garriott drives. Here's McCrary in the lane to the corner for Serenius. Garriott with a shoulder fake out towards McCrary. His 15-footer rattles around, and Justin Phipps comes up with a board. Deontay Foster has returned with 2 fouls. Foster back towards Robinson. Robinson with his foot on the line, could not hit. And it's Garriott quickly outletting towards McCrary, and a great job of reading by Robinson. Jerome Robinson, the senior transfer for the Blue Jays, was able to make a read on the basketball and denied an odd man rush for the Thunder. Just over 7 minutes to play in the first half. 23-16. Elmhurst leads. The Blue Jays have led for most of this first half. Knocked away into the Elmhurst bench. Mark Shear becomes friends with the Orange Pumpkin. John DeMoss enters for the Thunder. Nate Serenius will inbound. Serenius dribbles in. Now it's McCrary waiting against Phipps, who reaches out and swats at the ball. Serenius fakes around Foster, pulls up, no good from three. Missed it from dead on, and Phipps able to secure the rebound. Here comes Foster, rolling towards the corner. Robinson waited, drew the defense in, tried to feed Phipps, but it was tapped away. And John DeMoss comes up with a steal. Here's Serenius, and he walks. Tyler Peters, Spencer Schulte returning for the Thunder. Eric Dornfeld back on for the Blue Jays. 6:20 first half. Elmhurst leading 23-16. Blue Jays trying to hand Wheaton loss number 2 early in the CCIW slate while improving to 2-0 themselves. Foster waiting. Toss towards Phipps, who fell to the ground. The Thunder have an odd man rush. McCrary connects on the layup. For a moment, I thought McCrary may attempt to drive it home with a slam dunk and put some life into the Wheaton fans, but instead, he made sure the basket counted. 23-18. Robertson steers it right. Picks up the dribble. He's trapped. Has to find some help. Zach Boyd will oblige at the last moment. Shot clock is at 10. Boyd waits. Stutter step left. Boyd already with a dozen. Fails to hit on the 14-footer. Serenius the board. Here's Peters working against Boyd. Over towards McCrary. He'll drive. McCrary forced to adjust his shot. Use the window to convert. And it's a three-point game at 23-20. Momentum changing towards the Thunder here in the first half. With under 5 minutes to play. Boyd working against McCrary. That's a mismatch. He has it tapped away. Dornfeld is there. Dornfeld strong. Pulls up from 7. Yes! 25-20. A big make from Dornfeld to silence the Wheaton momentum. Tyler Peters will skip it towards McCrary, aiming back door. John DeMoss, no good. Schulte's second attempt isn't there either. And Phipps leads the break. Here's Foster strong to the hole, and he's pushed on his drive. 4:21 to play, and Elmhurst will execute a line change. Robinson, Grubel, Sanford return. Foster stays. And for the first time, it's Michael Jerkovich. Jerkovich, a freshman out of Burbank, Illinois. Aaron Garriott back on for Wheaton. 4:21 to play first half. Foster from 18 connects. Mike Schauer just pacing up and down the Wheaton sideline, throwing his arms up in the air in disbelief. Immediately wants Jeremy Fletterer to return to the ball game. 4:05 to play. Schulte one-on-one against Robinson. Backing his way in, changing course, and banking it home. Schulte and McCrary have done the bulk of the scoring for Wheaton in the first half, combining for 16 of the 22. Foster waits. Jerkovich, one dribble to his left. Out comes Robinson, 15 on the shot. Robinson towards the corner. Down to 10. Now it's Foster. Around a screen from Sanford, lost the basketball, turnover. That is the 8th turnover of the game for the Blue Jays. And indeed it is Fletterer back on for the Thunder with 3:26 to play in the first half. And Elmhurst up 5. 27-22. Elmhurst trying to sweep Wheaton tonight. The women pulled off a huge victory earlier this evening to improve to 2-0 in conference play. Schulte off the glass and good. Schultze scores again. He's the leading scorer for the Thunder, now in double digits. Jerkovic, pounded by Schultze, threw it away. Steal to Peters. Wheaton can tie it with a three, and Peters carries. Justin Phipps back for the Blue Jays. Score check, Augustana on top of North Central 12-8 with 12:39 to play in the first half. Those two teams tied for the CCIW title a year ago. North Central won the tiebreaker to host the conference tournament, but bowed out in the first round. Offensive foul. Sanford with a bit of a shove as he tried to gain separation. Second foul on Sanford, 6 against the Blue Jays. The next foul will place Wheaton at the line with 2:38 to play in the half. McCrary backing his way in against Sanford. Phipps comes in to help, score it, and a foul. McCrary to the line to attempt to tie the score. Tim McCrary, a 77% free throw shooter this year, will step to the stripe for the Thunder. He's a co-captain for the Thunder this year. First team all-conference choice last year. Fourth team All-American by D3Hoops.com. A season ago, he averaged 16.7 points per game, down from 18.2 as a sophomore. But his rebound total increased. He does indeed tie the score at 27. Elmhurst fans make some noise. Boyd at the top. Roll right. Phipps free throw line extended. Long. Phipps sneaking in for the rebound. Fell out of bounds. Alert play though by Justin Phipps. Sensed that his shot was off. Followed it all the way. Just couldn't save it. Less than 2 minutes to play in the first half. 27 aside. Here's McCrary along the baseline. Surrounded. Throws it away. Foster will punch it out a la soccer netminder. But it'll stay with the Thunder. Foster practicing for the World Cup. It's what, only 2.5, 3 years away? Something like that. 27 all. My soccer friends are going to beat me up for not knowing exactly when the next World Cup is. Shot clock at 8. Schultze against Robinson. Denied. Robinson again. Here comes a second chance and over the top. Jerome Robinson at 6'6". Spencer Schultze 6'6" as well. Schultze with some very good footwork though in the post. And he will step to the line attempting to put Wheaton in front. And he does. The Thunder led 6-2 after a Tim McCrary J just over 3 minutes into the ball game. They have not led since until now. Schultze, a big reason why. 13 for Schultze as he missed the free throw. Robertson cleans up for Elmhurst. 24 of the 28 between Schultze and McCrary here in the first half. Foster threw it away. Great job by Flederer. He'll lead a 3-on-1. Flederer towards Peters. Oh my goodness. Tyler Peters at 6'4" will bring the Wheaton fans to their feet following a dunk. And the Thunder are up 3 at 30-27 as we crawl inside of a minute to play in the first. Out comes Phipps. He has Robinson posting. Robinson wants the ball. McCrary went for the steal. Couldn't come up with it on the frontal defense. And Robinson finds himself with an easy 2. 4 points for Robertson in the first half. 1 point game. And Peters throws it away. Wheaton wants a touch to no avail. Shot clock will go dark. Elmhurst can hold for the final shot. If it's good, they'll have the lead at the intermission. Foster will call out the play as he eases his way across midcourt, right at the beak of the Elmhurst logo. Foster instead will take it to himself. It's blocked from behind by Schulte. He sensed an opening, drove to the basket, and Schulte was there from behind to come up with the block. And now Wheaton will have the chance for the final points of the first 20 minutes. Peters into the corner, Flederer for three. No. And Phipps comes up underneath with the rebound. 20 minutes in the books. Wheaton up one, 30-29. A thrilling opening 20 minutes of play in Elmhurst tonight. Elmhurst took the lead 3.5 minutes in and led until there was just over a minute and a half to play in the first. But it is Wheaton up by a point at the break, 30-29. What a first half, folks. The second hopefully will be just as exciting as the teams head to the locker rooms, have an opportunity to talk about a few things. For Wheaton, I've got to believe one of the biggest points that Mike Schauer will hammer home is rebounding. The Thunder certainly improved upon that later in the first half, but Elmhurst early, when they were able to take control of this ball game, were dominating the glass. And for Elmhurst, well, the thing that they need to force a little bit more maybe perhaps is just trying to slow things down a bit on the offensive end. There's a few times where the Blue Jays kind of rushed their offensive set. Case in point, late in the first half when Deontay Foster drove towards the basket with about 17 seconds left instead of holding for the final shot. They've also committed a few careless turnovers as a result of trying to force that offense. So we'll see if those points are talked about in the locker room. Elmhurst is down by a point at the break, 30-29. We'll have stats coming your way in a bit, plus the second half from R.A. Fagnall Hall. I'm Tim Calderwood. It's halftime. You're watching Blue Jay TV. Halftime in Elmhurst, 30-29, Wheaton on top. I thought it was interesting. I noticed Wheaton College did not spend a lot of time in the locker room, at least as far as head coach goes. I saw Mike Schauer emerge from the locker room at about the 8-minute mark of halftime. He was only in there for 5 or 6 minutes speaking to his team. So obviously, got to believe the point's pretty simple from what he said, which is keep doing what you're doing. I mean, the momentum clearly changed late in that first half as Wheaton finds themselves in front by one at the break. Let's take a look at the first half numbers. They're in my hand right here. Wheaton did not hit a three-pointer in the first half. They were 0 of 6. The Thunder did, however, convert on 46% of their shots, 13 of 28, and a lot of those came from inside. Wheaton with a huge advantage in points in the paint, 22-10. And it should be no surprise then that the two leading scorers for the Thunder are both post players. Spencer Schulte with 13, Tim McCrary 11. That's 24 of the 30 total for Wheaton. Tyler Peters owns 4, including a slam dunk. Nathan Haynes with 2. The Thunder reached the free throw line 5 times in the first half and were 4 of 5. They turned the ball over on 8 occasions and were out-rebounded 19-14. Elmhurst leading scorers, Zach Boyd, 12 first half points. Deontay Foster with 7, despite some foul problems. Jerome Robinson, 4. Nick Sanford, Brandon Grubel, and Eric Dornfeld with 2 apiece. James Robertson held off the scoreboard. Robertson was 0 of 5 from the floor and 0 of 3 from three-point range, despite coming up with one of his better games of the year on Wednesday. Elmhurst, 41% from the floor in the half, 12 of 29, 3 of 7 from three-point range, 42%, and 2 of 2 from the stripe. 3 ties, 3 lead changes in the first half, and with that, the second is underway. It'll be Wheaton basketball. The Thunder return the starting 5 to the floor. Tyler Peters, Jeremy Flederer, Arian Garriott, Tim McCrary, and Spencer Schulte. Schulte, high to the right, out towards Garriott. He'll take one dribble, pull up from 17, and it's an air ball. Nick Sanford with the rebound. Elmhurst returns the starting 5 as well. The Blue Jays in the home whites. Deontay Foster, Nick Sanford, Zach Boyd, Jerome Robinson, and James Robertson. Outlet towards Flederer. Flederer denied by Robertson, who went for the steal. Solid defensive play by Robertson. In a lot of situations, you can actually be called for an intentional foul streaking in as a defender. But Robertson Just got a piece of the arm as he reached in to try to knock the basketball out of the hands of Flederer. Jeremy Flederer shooting free throws. Told you earlier, he's actually the worst free throw shooter on the Thunder, but he's good here. A 46% shooter, 7 of 15 from the line. Flederer, a senior for the Thunder, actually sat out a season, missed his second. Jeremy Flederer returned to the team last year after sitting out the 2009-2010 campaigns. He's only a junior eligibility-wise. Robertson, high towards Sanford. Between the rings, Sanford looking to drive on Schulte, denied. Kicks out towards Robinson, shot clock at 8. Boyd steps back, three-pointer off to the left. Basketball's on the floor and a foul is called. Take a look at the other scores around the CCIW with under a minute to play in the first half. It is Augustana on top of North Central, 28-27. So glad to have you tonight. Tim Calderwood with you on Blue Jay TV. Elmhurst trying to improve to 2-0 in the CCIW after a victory over North Park on Wednesday. Wheaton looking to avoid falling to 0-2 with both road games this week. Flederer at a high, almost second attempt off of the arc. Kind of hung up, came back down, and then worked its way out of bounds. Finals today, Illinois Wesleyan over North Park, 76-70. Carthage all over Milliken, 86-50. Carthage was embarrassed at North Central on Wednesday. I think the Redmen decided to take out their frustrations on Milliken tonight. 15 on the shot clock. Elmhurst down 2, 31-29. Here's Foster traveling. Elmhurst turned the ball over 11 times in the first half. It led to 13 Wheaton points. That's what I'm talking about at the break, right before we went into halftime, as an area that the Blue Jays needed to improve upon. McCrary along the baseline, backing his way in against Sanford. Nice move, up and under, no. Second chance coming for McCrary, who follows his miss. Tim McCrary with 13 points for the Thunder. And a second chance opportunity for Wheaton, who in the first half managed only 3 offensive rebounds. The Thunder up 4, 33-29. Sanford towards the corner. Back out it comes, Robertson driving, and a foul. Spencer Schulte with a foul, his first. Elmhurst would like to visit the free throw line a little more. Only 2 trips in the first half. This is the first visit for James Robertson today. And he's good. Robertson, 86% shooter this year. Tied with 2 others for the top mark on the Elmhurst squad. Blue Jays are 4-2 here at home this year. Robertson's second attempt, though, is short. On deck for the Blue Jays, a road date at North Central Tuesday night at 7:30. Tough stretch for Elmhurst. Opened against North Park, recording a 12-point win. Tuesday, they visit North Central, the co-champions a year ago. Next Saturday, Augustana is in the house at 8 o'clock. Robertson forces the steal. Augustana nationally ranked, the preseason favorites in the CCIW. So they'll face 3 of the top 4 projections in the conference, counting tonight and the next 2 games next week. Foul charged on the play to Jeremy Flederer, and Nick Sanford will have the chance to tie up the score. Sanford has taken some huge steps forward from his freshman year to his sophomore campaign, averaging a touch under 9 points per game. He hails from Decatur, Illinois. And his money, 33 all with 16:53 to play. In the first half, we had 3 ties and 3 lead changes. Elmhurst led for about a 15-minute stretch before the Thunder took the lead at the break, up by a point, 30-29. A 10-2 run propelled the Blue Jays to the advantage in the first half, after they were down 6-2. James Robertson with his second personal. 16:40 in the half. Peters picks up his dribble, tries to skip it into the post. It's on the ground. Jump ball is called. McCrary tied up with Sanford, and the arrow belongs to the Blue Jays. .37 remaining. First substitution for the Thunder, John DeMoss, who has been a little banged up this year. DeMoss, in fact, made his first appearance of this season at Illinois Wesleyan on Wednesday, played only 8 minutes, hit his only shot, was 2 of 3 from the line. DeMoss, a sophomore. Here's Robinson fading away along the baseline. Peters scoops up the rebound. Peters with a no-look pass to Serenius, who hesitates. Here's McCrary from 15. Nope. And it's Zach Boyd swooping up the board. We've got a foul. It's on Peters. Second on Peters. 3 apiece here in the half. First half total 12 fouls. We've had 6 in the first, not even 4 minutes of the second. Officiating crew, Jim O'Boy, Fritz Larson, Mike O'Neill. Sanford over to Boyd, looking towards the lane. Robinson. McCrary went for the steal, knocked it out of play. Off the bench comes Nathan Haynes. Haynes has appeared in every ball game for the Thunder. In every game this year, Wheaton has only used a total of 8 players. The starting 5 has been the same for all 12. McCrary, Garriott, Schulte, Peters, and Flederer. And Nate Serenius, Nathan Haynes, and Peter Smith are the only 3 other players to have appeared in every ball game. Robertson trying to beat the buzzer with a 3-pointer before the shot clock. Boyd lost the basketball and they'll whistle a shot clock. And Mike Schauer is upset on the Wheaton sideline because Schauer tried to say that Wheaton gained possession before the shot clock. He had 2 players streaking towards the basket on the offensive end. Not to be. 33 all. 15:33 to go. Peters will march it up the floor. DeMoss, 1 dribble. Bouncing towards McCrary. Backing up over the top of Robinson. Scores. Tim McCrary with more for the Thunder. It's been a 2-man show for Wheaton. 15 points. Here's Boyd all by himself. Zach Boyd almost surprised that he found himself so wide open. Boyd, the senior for the Blue Jays, one of only 2 seniors on the roster. Jerome Robinson the other, but Robinson is a transfer this year. So Boyd is the only 4-year player on the floor for Elmhurst. 14:43, Foster will pull up and hit. Deontay Foster puts the Blue Jays in front 37-35. It is a very vocal crowd here tonight in R.A. Faginal Hall. Tell you what, one of my favorite recent Elmhurst memories, the CCIW championship game in 2009 at Wheaton in front of a packed house of over 3,000 fans. McCrary again. It was Tim McCrary's sophomore season. And the Thunder came up with the victory over the Blue Jays in that one. Backdoor cut for Boyd on a bounce pass from Sanford to score. 39-37, back and forth we go. Peters inside the lane, blocked by Robinson. Out of bounds off of Haynes. For the Thunder, returning Flederer is returned to the floor for the first time in the second half. Tad Fisher, the sophomore from Alamo, California. Eric Dornfeld and Brandon Grubel enter for Elmhurst. Kind of a unique thing to note about Elmhurst this season. They have not been as deep as previous seasons in terms of sheer numbers, but they have been deep in terms of production. You're not losing a whole lot with Phipps, Grubel, Dornfeld on the floor. Foster throws it away. Mark Scheer can feel confident in heading to his bench at any point. In fact, that depth, one of the reasons why Elmhurst was able to pull away from North Park in the second half on Wednesday. 13-13 to go. Here's McCrary spinning over the top of Sanford and good. McCrary closing in on 20 points. He has 19. Quite a season for Tim McCrary and quite a showing here tonight. We've got a hold. Tim McCrary, season high total 24 points against the University of Chicago back on November 30th. Put up 23 at Calvin on December 3rd as part of the CCIW MIAA Challenge. Boyd looking for the cutting Sanford, slowed up. Otherwise, that would have been an easy layup for sure. Sanford is posting and wants the ball. Foster will utilize a screen. He's now double teamed. Sanford with a jump stop, too strong in the lane. Dornfeld fighting out of bounds to Wheaton. Mark Scheer upset on the Elmhurst bench. Tied at 39 with 12:23 to play on this Saturday night. The Elmhurst women were victorious earlier. Elmhurst men trying to follow suit here this evening. Garriott out towards McCrary. Into the lane underneath. Fisher found himself wide open but almost overreacted. Here's Fletterer spinning away. Offensive rebound. Schultze's second chance won't go. Sanford the board. Here come the Blue Jays. Grubel slows it up. Now he decides against it. Sanford trying to drive. Thwarted by a sea of orange. 20 to shoot. Dornfeld, one dribble. Mark Scheer calling timeout. Fritz Larson agrees. Full timeout with 11:39 to play in the ball game. Even at 39 apiece. This is Elmhurst College men's basketball action on Blue Jay TV. Mark Scheer spending a timeout to regroup Elmhurst with 11:39 to play in a tie game, 39 apiece. Looks like we could be headed for another classic Elmhurst and Wheaton battle. Even with the changeover in the Thunder on the coaching staff, Bill Harris retired, Mike Schauer took over. But despite that changeover, these two teams still know each other really well. Shot clock expires. Grubel couldn't get it off. Justin Phipps entering for the Blue Jays. The defense holds for Wheaton. And James Robertson will come on for the Blue Jays, replacing Zach Boyd. Fisher taking his time across half court. Garriott all by himself. Just drove right past Grubel. Grubel was left standing as Garriott came up for the Thunder. Aaron Garriott in the first half did not score his first points of the game. Didn't need to score with the presence in the post of Schulte and McCrary. Grubel, oh my goodness. Big time collision. A couple Elmhurst fans up calling for intentional. It's a hard foul. Charge to Aaron Garriott. As he came out on Grubel, who was shaken up a bit and will stay on the floor. Garriott closed out on Grubel. Leapt in thinking that Grubel was going to shoot. Instead, Grubel tried to drive and the two collided. Here's Grubel, one-on-one and a block. Foul number 6 against the Thunder, 2 in a row against Garriott, who can't believe this call. And Mike Schauer arguing, wondering why this is a shooting situation for Brandon Grubel, who hit on a pair of free throws earlier. Grubel, a freshman for the Blue Jays. Earned 3 varsity letters at Morgan Township High School. Averaged 22 points and 7 rebounds a ball game. Earning conference MVPs as a senior. And he hits both free throws to tie the score at 41. Rapidly approaching the midway point of the second half. McCrary looking for the cutting Garriott, too high. Serenius and Peters take to the floor. Foster, Robertson, Robinson, Phipps, and Boyd for Elmhurst. Garriott, McCrary, Peters, Schulte, and Serenius for Wheaton. 41 apiece. Robertson pops out. Phipps wants the ball in the lane, and it's knocked free. Wheaton has done a very good job of collapsing in the lane. They're forcing Elmhurst to beat him from the outside. The perimeter contest was very effective against North Park Wednesday, but it has struggled at points here today, though the Blue Jays did hit 3 three-pointers in the first half. Garriott picks up his 3rd foul in a span of just over a minute. Team foul number 7, Deontay Foster stepping to the line. Foster, a very solid free throw shooter at 85%, 24 of 28 this year. Free throws almost single-handedly beat North Park on Wednesday. And they'll need to convert at the line again here tonight for the upset win at home, as Foster is good on his first. Foster spins it in his hands. Number 2 is off the back iron, but Foster with an offensive rebound. Over to a spotting up Robertson, and the shot just has not been there for James Robertson today. Good look, wouldn't go. Tough luck for Robertson. What do they say though? Keep on shooting, eventually they're going to start to fall. Robertson has been very effective on the defensive end. He jumps into the passing lane and knocks it into the breadbasket of the Wheaton bench. 9:45 to play, 42-41, Elmhurst up. McCrary working on Phipps. Clearing out to the top of the arc, DeMoss. 3-pointer, no. Robinson with a board. Good strong rebound from Jerome Robinson. Deontay Foster needs someone to come pick up the basketball. It's loose. Diving on top is Robinson. And a 10-second call results in a turnover. Foster lost the basketball, couldn't pick it up to avoid a travel call. Did a good job of trying to shield the basketball for his teammates. Robinson pounced, but he was on the ground, and by the time Elmhurst recovered, it was a 10-second violation. 9:18 to go. Schulte hands it off to Peters. In the lane, plows over the top of Foster. Offensive foul. Third foul charge to Tyler Peters, who will exit stage left along with Schultze. Fisher and Serenius back on the floor for the Thunder. Out comes the rag to wipe up the spot in the lane. Foster slips it towards Boyd, falling away from 15 short. DeMoss the rebound for Wheaton. McCrary held up by Phipps. Fourth foul against the Blue Jays with 8:51 to play in the ball game. Elmhurst remains up a point, 42-41. Tell you what, the pace of the game is very much in favor of Elmhurst. McCrary attempts to drive. He spots Serenius, who is fouled in the act of hitting a 16-footer on the baseline. Serenius will have the chance for a three-point play. He has been near perfect from the line this year, 12 out of 14. Nate Serenius could not hit the free throw. Serenius missed some time last year. Played in 13 ball games. 43-42, Wheaton up one. Phipps towards Robertson. Out comes Foster. Waiting. Robinson screens. Foster with 10 on the shot. Bounces towards Phipps, who scores. Justin Phipps continues to improve as well for Elmhurst after joining the Blue Jays following football season. McCrary against Phipps, swatted away. Robinson the block. Here's an outlet towards Foster in the lane for Robinson, a little too high. Foster was out of control, probably should have slowed it up. Tried to take advantage of the numbers and couldn't. Serenius spotting up, three-pointer short. DeMoss falling out of bounds. And a whistle. It's going to go against Elmhurst. Justin Phipps with his second. Nick Sanford returns for the Blue Jays. Tyler Peters back on for the Thunder. 1 point game, 44-43. Elmhurst in front. Peters travels. Tried to do a little too much. North Central leading Augustana 30-28 at halftime down in Rock Island. A couple of teams trying to improve to 2-0 in the CCIW like Elmhurst is here tonight. Robertson cuts towards the lane. Sanford undressed. McCrary the steal. McCrary all the way. Blocked! Oh, Boyd came in! Oh, baby, what a play! Timeout, Wheaton. Zach Boyd came out of nowhere on a 3-on-none to block Tim McCrary. 6'3", stuffed 6'6", a couple of seniors and two of the premier players in the CCIW at that. With 7:06 to play, Elmhurst leads by a point as we break on Blue Jay TV. Wheaton still has not hit a three-pointer tonight. The Thunder are 0 of 10 from the land of three. And the top free throw shooting team in the CCIW is only 5 of 8. The three-point streak has ended as Serenius, out of the timeout, buries a three for the Thunder to put Wheaton back in front, 46-44. The first make from bonus distance for Wheaton today. Sanford will dribble left. Here's Phipps between the rings, 15 on the shot. Phipps starts to work and a travel. One too many moves for Justin Phipps. Perhaps taking a page out of Scotty Williams' book. .637 left. And a tight one between Elmhurst and Wheaton tonight. McCrary turning around, lobbing for Schulte. Schulte's been quiet in the second half, but he has his first points here. Guess I spoke too soon. Spencer Schulte in the opening 20 minutes of play recorded 13 points. He had not scored a single point in the second until now. And he's at the line trying to turn it into a 5-point Wheaton lead. With 6:23 to go, he does. 49-44. Wheaton went on a run at the end of the first half to take a 1-point lead into the break. They're on a run here in the second, up 5. Sanford towards Boyd. Robinson is posting and being denied by McCrary. Thunder in the tight man, that's what they've been in all night long. 6 minutes to play. Boyd for three. Yes! Zach Boyd with 19 points, a huge triple for the Blue Jays. 49-47, 5:45 remaining. Garriott skipping towards Schulte on the baseline. Schulte around Robinson and a foul. Robinson with his arms up in disbelief. That'll be the third on the Elmhurst senior, who transferred in from Lewis University. Spencer Schulte just hit a free throw moments ago. He has 2 more coming with 5:37 to play, and the Thunder up 2. Short. Eric Dornfeld replacing Robinson. Spencer Schulte tied for 6th in the CCIW in rebounding. 6.3 a game. One of the 4 seniors in the starting lineup splits the pair. .50-47. Around the arc we go. Robertson staying patient. Foster trying to drive. Out to Robertson for 3. Back iron. Robertson just has not been hitting tonight, and a kick will reset things for the Thunder. James Robertson, 0 of 8 from the floor and 0 of 6 from three-point range. 5:10 to play. Garriott towards Serenius for 3 again. Wheaton missed 10 in a row from three-point range to start the night. They've hit 2 straight, and it's been net man Nate Serenius. 6-point Wheaton game, 53-47, 4:56 to play. Timeout Elmhurst. We'll step aside. This is Elmhurst College basketball on Blue Jay TV. Only 2 3-pointers for Wheaton in the entire game, but they both come in the last 2 minutes from Nate Serenius, as Wheaton suddenly finds themselves in front by 6 points, 53-47. 6-point lead is the largest of the evening for the Thunder. Elmhurst led by as many as 8 in the first half. Boyd to answer with a 3 of his own. No. Schultze makes it one and done. Garrett off to the races. And the Thunder will slow it up. With 4:35 to play, it's plenty of time for Elmhurst, but they need to start coming up with some stops on defense. Garrett, patient, to Serenius again. Right side for 3. Oh, my goodness. Nate Serenius with 11 points for the Thunder, and he has really started to take over here in the closing moments of the game. It hasn't been Schultze. It hasn't been McCrary. It hasn't been Garrett, all of whom average in double figures for the Thunder. Instead, it has been off the bench, Nate Serenius. A 9-point advantage for Wheaton at 56-47. Deontay Foster stepping to the line. Wheaton ranked 23rd in the D3Hoops.com top 25 poll. The Thunder were sent on the road for the first 2 games in the CCIW season. Lost in overtime at Illinois Wesleyan Wednesday. $87-77 the final Wednesday night. Trying to avoid dropping to 0-2. Deontay Foster with one more. It's in. 56-49 with 4:05 left in this one. McCrary bouncing for Schultze in the block. Backing up against Phipps. Over the top. Hook shot scores. Back to a 9-point lead. 58-49 with 3:45 remaining. Foster twists towards the corner. And it'll be Phipps who starts to move. Sanford back near half court. Drives in, picks up his dribble. Here's Foster with the shot clock at 10. Foster splits a double team in the lane. Flips for Phipps, knocked away. Phipps has 3 to shoot. Drives in, clears out Foster to beat the buzzer. Got it up. Oh! Not only got it off, but hit Deontay Foster. 15 points for the Blue Jays and a big 3-pointer. Didn't even really have the opportunity to set, catch and shoot. 58-52. Schultze double team over the top of Phipps again. Timeout Wheaton. A 30-second timeout. Spencer Schultze had been quiet, but he has reemerged for the Thunder. Nate Serenius off the bench has provided a huge spark in the terms of the 3-point department as well. Wheaton was 0 for 10 to start this ball game from 3-point range. Well, that's changed here of late, and the Thunder find themselves in front. They are scoring consistently on the Blue Jays, inside, outside, and Wheaton trying to pull away in the closing moments of the ball game. Mike Schauer taking a timeout as the Thunder retake the floor here late in the contest on the road. Elmhurst has played tough, hanging toe-to-toe with a nationally ranked Thunder. I would say it's definitely a performance that will allow those around the CCIW to take notice. This is a vastly improved Elmhurst team. But if they're going to make the conference tournament, the Blue Jays need to find a way to win games like this at home. Down 8 with 2:40 to play. Robertson, out pops Boyd. Boyd screening right. Robertson with a ball above his head. Shot clock ticking down. 10 seconds to work with. Robinson from 14 may have been partially blocked by Schultze. Good save, though, by Sanford. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Boyd for 3. No. And falling out of bounds, Serenius with the rebound, but he indeed fell out of bounds. 2:15 to play Elmhurst ball. Schultze and McCrary with 21 points apiece for Wheaton. Nate Serenius with 11, including 3 late second half threes. Zach Boyd with 19, Deontay Foster 15 for Elmhurst. Here's Sanford in the lane, no. Robinson fighting for the rebound. Second chance, won't drop, but a foul. And Jerome Robinson stepping to the stripe. Robinson just outside the top 10 in the CCIW in scoring. The senior out of Skokie, prepped at St. Patrick High School. It was coached by Mike Bailey. He's headed into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association Hall of Fame this year. Robinson, good on the free throw. Transferred from Lewis University. Appeared in 26 ball games last year, 5 starts. Hits them both, 60-54 with just over 2 minutes left. Elmhurst needs to come up with a stop, and Mark Scheer knows that. He jumps to his feet and says one stop. Peters met by Foster. DeMoss skips towards Schulte around Robinson and scoring again. Timeout Wheaton. 1:45 to play. The Thunder up 8, 62-54. We'll step aside. This is Elmhurst College basketball on Blue Jay TV. .145 to play. Elmhurst trailing 62-54. Tim Calderwood with you on Blue Jay TV from R.A. Faginal Hall in Elmhurst, Illinois. Deontay Foster will let it roll a bit before picking it up just shy of half court. Zach Boyd trying to thread the needle, taps it towards the diving Robinson, who's out of bounds. It'll be last touched by DeMoss, who was right there with Robinson. In the belly of Mark Scheer, Elmhurst able to retain possession, 26 on the shot clock. Blue Jays have had plenty of chances here tonight, but late in the second half, Wheaton finally starting to hit from the perimeter, 3 consecutive threes from Nate Serenius. And the Blue Jays have not been able to come up with stops on the defensive end. Spencer Schulte, 23 points, leading the way. Deontay Foster circling the arc, picks up his dribble. Now it's Boyd colliding with McCrary, steps in, 19-footer as an air ball. It's out of bounds off of Wheaton. All right, now Elmhurst trying to force up shots. Yes, they do not have a lot of time on the clock, but they also need to come up with a little bit better looks. And Mark Scheer notices he'll spend a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout. 1:26 to play in Elmhurst tonight. Here on Blue Jay TV, Elmhurst trying to improve to 2-0 in the CCIW. The Blue Jays took down North Park on Wednesday in a game you saw live here on Blue Jay TV by the final score of 79-67. They're trying to improve to 2-0 while Wheaton trying to avoid falling to 0-2 after dropping in overtime. Earlier scores today, Carthage all over Milliken at home, winning by 30 plus. Meanwhile, Illinois Wesleyan holding off North Park to improve to 2-0 in the CCIW. Right now, as I look at the score, North Central and Augustana are tied at 50. A lot of time left there, 7 plus. Boyd over the top of McCrary, denied, and a late whistle will save Zach Boyd, who heads to the line. Zach Boyd with 19 points in the ball game. He has not visited the free throw line. Free throws really in the ball game have not been a deciding factor. Boyd has started every ball game this year. He's an 84% shooter as the free throw is good. Elmhurst is 12 of 14 from the line. Wheaton 7 of 11. One more for Zach Boyd. 6th in the conference in scoring, 9th in rebounding. He knows this one's off the mark. Hung up on the rim for a while. Schultz able to wrestle it away underneath. He's trapped. Timeout Wheaton. The last timeout for the Thunder with 1:18 to play. 62-55. Wheaton up 7. And they are out of timeouts. We'll break again. This is Elmhurst College basketball on Blue Jay TV. Just a $1:18 to play tonight at R.A. Faginal Hall. Wheaton with the basketball, with the Thunder are out of timeouts. Possession arrow is with Wheaton. Both teams are in the bonus. Elmhurst in the double bonus. Blue Jays need to commit 2 more fouls before Wheaton will shoot 2 the rest of the way. Have to think this might be a fouling situation for Elmhurst, and indeed it is. Robertson with a little bit of a push to the backside of Nate Serenius. We'll stroll on down to the line for the Thunder. Wheaton entering the game, the top free throw shooting team in the CCIW. Only at 64% though here tonight. Serenius missed on his only try. 11 points for Serenius. One of 3 players in double figures for Wheaton as he hits the free throw. Serenius with 12 now, McCrary 19, and Schultz 23. Serenius bends at the knees and hits. 64-55, back to a 9-point Wheaton lead. Zach Boyd will scoop it. Zach Boyd around the arc, top of the key. Flips to Foster. Foster with 105. Foster on the drive, picks it up. Robertson rotates right. He'll shoot the 3. It's off the mark again. Punched out of bounds by Robinson. James Robertson in the ball game has only 1 point. He scored 20 in the victory over North Park on Wednesday. The junior in the ball game today is 0 of 9, including 0 of 7 from 3-point range. Zach Boyd isn't giving up, knocking it out of play with 56.5. Peters with a home run toss towards McCrary, and he's fouled from behind. Fourth foul on Nick Sanford. Tim McCrary looking to add to his total. Trying to cross the 20-point marker for the 3rd time this year. And does. John DeMoss back on the hardwood. Product of St. Charles North High School. 10-point lead is the largest of the game for Wheaton. The Thunder have pulled away here in the second half. (66-55) with 55 seconds. Boyd will scamper towards the corner. He'll fall away in front of DeMoss. An air ball. Rebound is loose. Robinson couldn't save. Wheaton basketball. Mark Scheer pointing to his bench. Michael Jerkovich will return. Jerkovich played a couple of minutes in the first half. The freshman is on the floor again here as Zach Boyd will exit, and Mark Scheer is going to clear his bench. Also in Nathan Fernandez. Right behind him, Andy Lepard and Brandon Grubel. So a valiant effort for the Blue Jays here tonight, but with 46 2/10 remaining, it appears as though Mark Scheer will concede defeat. As Wheaton brings it up the floor and takes their time. 10-second difference, shot clock and game clock. 3 3-pointers from Nate Serenius turned what was a tight ball game into a double-digit advantage for Wheaton. And the Thunder are going to avoid falling to 0-2 in CCIW play. McCrary spins around Jurkovic, and he will head to the line yet again for Wheaton. Mike Schauer now clearing his bench. Two shots for Tim McCrary. No good. McCrary, 21 points, 7 rebounds for Wheaton. Peter Smith, Nathan Haynes, Caleb DeMoss, Tad Fisher, all on for the Thunder. Tim McCrary will exit if he makes this free throw. On the box score, it will show up as 0+ for these young men. But Joe Sikovic enters for the Thunder as well. Wheaton received a very tough draw to start CCIW play. Road games at Illinois Wesleyan Wednesday and here in Elmhurst tonight. Three-pointer off to the left from Fernandez. Wheaton with the rebound. Jogging it across half court will be Caleb DeMoss. The freshman out of New Jersey will dribble out the final seconds, and Wheaton posts the victory. The 23rd ranked Thunder improved to 10-3 on the year, 1-1 in the CCIW, while dropping Elmhurst to 7-6, and 1-1 in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin as well. Elmhurst will head to North Central on Tuesday for a 7:30 date against the Cardinals. Picked to finish second in the preseason poll. North Central leading at Augustana 56-51. That would be a huge upset if the score holds. Elmhurst, meanwhile, will try to regroup following the tough loss here today. Let's look at the final totals. Wheaton finishes the ball game by shooting 50% from the floor. The Thunder in the contest were 26 of 52. You'll pardon my periodic looks to the left. Elmhurst cooled off in the second half, shot just 36%, 19 of 53. Wheaton did not hit a three-pointer through their first 10 attempts. Well, that changed with Aaron Garriott and the Thunder leading the way. Nate Serenius, 3 consecutive three-pointers, really proving the difference in the ball game. As Wheaton shoots 3 of 13 from three-point range. Elmhurst was 5 of 17 at the line. Elmhurst 12 of 15, Wheaton 12 of 17. Rebounds were dead even at 33 apiece. Elmhurst 18 turnovers, Wheaton 15. Individually, let's take a look at the numbers. For Wheaton, well, they got contributions in a lot of places. First of all, Spencer Schultze in the post, 23 points. Tim McCrary, 22. That's quite a 1-2 post punch inside. 13 points for Nate Serenius, including the 3 3-pointers that we alluded to moments ago. Those were the only players in double figures and really counted for almost all the offense. Tyler Peters finished with 4. Nathan Haynes 2, Aaron Garriott 2, well off of his average. Jeremy Flederer only 1. So that was the extent of the offense for Wheaton. Really not much beyond McCrary and Schultze, with the exception of Serenius, who was also in double figures. For Elmhurst, Zach Boyd with 20 points, 8 of 16 from the floor. Deontay Foster, 15. And after those two, the production dropped off to 6 for Jerome Robinson, well below his average. 4 for Brandon Grubel, 2 for Eric Dornfeld, Justin Phipps, and 1 for James Robertson. So that's it. Wheaton with a 12-point victory over Elmhurst. Final score, 67-55. Thanks so much for taking your time to join us on this Saturday night here on Blue Jay TV. We'll have next Saturday's matchups for you live, a doubleheader. Elmhurst women and men will meet Augustana College. Augustana right now being pushed to the brink at home on the men's side, but they are ranked number 3 in the nation currently. Elmhurst falling to a nationally ranked foe today here at home in Wheaton. 67-55. Thanks so much for taking some time to join us. For our entire Blue Jay TV crew, including producer-director Glenn, I'm Tim Calderwood. Thanks for watching and have a great night.